I'm really excited about today's class because we are going to see lots of questions, right? Because people will think in their own ways. They will write all sorts of questions. Some of them will be wrong grammatically, maybe, the word order. And we are going to learn plenty from those mistakes. How's your auntie doing, Rupaya? Your auntie is doing okay?
Yeah,
Mm. Where are the rest of the people? It's 7:05 already.
she decided to get married again.
That's good. That's good. And who will she get married to?
My nanny is finding a boy for her.
Um, but I have heard that, the Devar is a good option because,
No, sir, her devar is already married.
oh, it would be nice
Good
if,
evening, sir.
hello, Zafri. It would be nice if they find a guy who has maybe a child or two,
Yes.
then he'll understand that, things happen and maybe he'll love her children the same way. Okay. So you guys, one by one, ask your questions, okay? And the class will answer. And when the question is wrong, by the way, I hope other students will spot it. They will try and correct the sentence, the question. And when they fail to do so, I'll intervene, okay? I'll make the correction. Fine. So let's just start one by one. One question, one person. And if you have the same question too on your list, you will tick that question so that no question gets repeated.
Okay.
Shall we start?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Yeah.
go ahead. Who would like to start? Sumit, would you like to start?
Yeah, of course.
Go ahead.
I'm starting with the question. What did Alistair do when he saw his brother in trouble?
What did Alistair do when he saw his brother in trouble? If you have this question on your list, then please tick this question so that nobody repeats this question. We don't want to repeat the question, okay? So click this question, tick this question if you have this question on your list. What did Alistair do when he saw his brother in trouble? Go ahead. Let's respond. Anybody? Respond, please.
Um, he pushed he pushed his brother.
He pushed his brother. Okay. Well, that's not the entire answer. I'm sorry, Arvind, if you think about it. The question was, what did he do when he saw his brother in trouble? Somebody else would like to go ahead and try, maybe?
He
He
ran up
pushed,
Mm,
to his brother
he ran
and
up to his brother.
he put his
He put his
arm
arm around him
on
and
him
ran with him,
with
He
right?
him.
put his hand around him and
Yes,
ran with him.
ran with him. Would you agree, Arvind, that this should be the right answer?
Yes, yes, that's
Yes.
right
The
answer.
ultimate thing was that he pushed him over the line and made him win, right? Okay, good. Well done, Sumit. Zafri, second question, Zafri. The question was, what did Alistair do when he saw his brother in trouble? Go ahead. Second question. Rukaya, you could ask your question as well.
Yeah, so
How much did Panda cost?
How much did the panda cost? How much did the panda cost?
The
Well, um, everybody,
the panda.
if you have this question, tick it so that you do not repeat this question, okay? If you have this question, tick so that you don't ask. To remind yourself that this question has been asked already. Go on. answer the question. How much did the panda cost?
The panda costed 15 pounds.
Sumit, cost doesn't have is not a regular verb.
Oh,
So,
sorry, yes, sir. We
uh,
studied
mm,
yesterday.
yeah. So,
The panda cost 15 pounds.
okay. Well, yes. Now, I have something to say here. How much did the panda cost? This question can mean panda ko kitna paisa dena pada? How much did the person have to pay? So the answer is, well, the boy, what was his name?
Nate.
Nate. Well, for Nate, it was free.
Ned
He
Williams.
didn't have to pay anything. Okay. But the staff of the shop, they clubbed together and paid 15 pounds for the panda. Right?
Yes.
All right. Fine. Let's move on. Rukaiya, what's your question?
Who was running behind Alistair?
Who was running behind Alistair? Very good question, guys. If you have this question, tick and answer the question. Who was running behind Alistair?
The other racer, sir.
The other racers. All right, Zafri. Rukaya, do you like this answer or you think it is the wrong answer? The other racers.
No, I want another. It's not a correct answer.
What do you think the correct answer is, Rukaya?
Johnny probably was running behind Alistair.
He's the
That's
younger
not
brother.
true. That's not true, guys.
He's behind. Alistair is
There is so much confusion, right? Hey, Manisha. How are you doing? You didn't say a word yesterday in the class. Why?
Sir, I was not feeling well
Are you okay
because
now? Are you okay now?
yes, a train. I have suffered means Bihar to Delhi.
Uh-huh.
That train was
Oh,
very.
I see. You were here for Raksha Bandhan.
Yes, sir.
I see. And your son is sick these days. He's not coming to class.
Sir, he means he is suffering from typhoid.
Oh, that's bad. That's bad.
Yes.
It will make him very weak for a few months, not weeks, When my daughter had typhoid, oh
sir.
my goodness, it was
He is
awful.
suffering from typhoid.
Uh-huh.
He is suffering from typhoid.
Yeah, typhoid.
Typhoid.
Yeah, exactly. All right. People, what were we talking about? Yeah, the questions.
Who
Last
is the
question.
younger brother?
Before we go there, Zafri, before we go there, who was running behind Alistair? Okay, yeah, not Johnny, not Johnny. If you're thinking it was Johnny, wrong.
No.
Johnny wasn't running behind Alistair. Okay, Johnny was in the lead. He was running
Going
ahead.
to first.
He was going to
Going to
be,
win the race.
yes, he was going to be the first, Zafri. He was going to
He's
be
going
the
to be the first.
Yeah, exactly. Carry on, people. Next person, Saurav, you go ahead, ask a question. Each person will ask a question first, then we will repeat the circle. Yes, Saurav, your question.
Okay. What were their age when they went to London for World Series?
Okay, how old were they when they went to London for the World Series? Well, do we know the answer? How old were the brothers when they went to London for the World Series? Saurav, do you think we know the answer?
Yeah.
The text says the answer.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
6
sir.
and 8.
Oh
No.
2 years ago,
No.
they went.
2 years ago is fine. 2 years
2
ago
years
is fine. But not
they went
6
to
and 8. Not 6 and 8. 6 and 8, they were when they started, triathlons, doing triathlons, right? 6 and 8, they were when they started doing triathlons. How old were they when they went to the World Series 2 years ago? Saurabh, do you have the answer?
No, sir, I think no.
No.
We don't have the answer. The text doesn't say how old the
Yeah.
guys were. All right.
When the triathlons going on.
Exactly. Next person will be Vikas, Arvind, Imrana, anybody?
Okay. Where is the triathlon World Series held?
Okay, the question is grammatically not correct. Okay, the correction. Come on, everybody. I hope you can make the correction. Can you repeat the question, Arvind?
Where is the triathlon weight series held?
Where
Okay.
did the
Where
triathlon
was
series?
No,
did
no,
the
sort of.
triathlons?
No. He's right, but not right. You guys are wrong. Like wrong in a different way. You don't realize the word. Arvind, use was because the
Was
word,
Was
Oh,
it
yes.
was
where
past
was
tense.
the
Where was the World Triathlon Series held? Where was the World Triathlon Series held? Not did, okay?
Okay.
Where was the World Triathlon Series held?
Held.
Okay, anybody who's wondering why did is not used in this question, if anybody is thinking why did was not used, do you remember a question, when were you born? Yeah, where were you born? Now compare this sentence with the same beta. बहुत important है. Where were you born? Here you have the subject you, and born is V3. Born is
victory?
V3. Similarly, where was the World
Was
Triathlon Series held?
held.
Held is V3, not V1, okay? Not V1. Hold is V1, okay? Held is V3. And that's why you cannot use did. Did is used when the verb is V1,
Even the verb is hold.
right? And
Yeah.
that will be a totally different idea, Zafri. Not only that, just
Yeah.
wanting to tell you, whenever you use did, after did there is a subject, and after the subject there is V1. But here you see
V1.
born, here you see held. Both these are V3s. So where were you born? And similarly, where was the triathlon held? Okay. Where was the World Triathlon Series held? Arvind, do you understand that? Is should
Yes, sir.
change into was. Okay, that's it. Because
Sir,
it was 2 years ago.
Where
It was two
did
years
the
ago.
triathlons hold?
No, Zafri. The subject needs to change. Okay, that's what I'm trying to tell you. There is a reason why we are using P3, Zafri. Okay, when you say where were you born? Okay, you did not do anything. Okay, your mother bore you. So it's a passive voice sentence, Zafri. Here the subject is different. We will study this later, okay? In Hindi,
sir, so
world,
we cannot say where did you born?
no, never, okay? Where were you born, okay? Where were you born? Never where did you born, Sumit, okay? Remember this. If you ever thought it was correct, please tell yourself it's not correct at all. Where were you
Sir,
born?
so how will I differentiate between these two? That when to use where were and when to use
Don't worry,
where did?
don't worry. You're learning English and this will help you, okay? As far as clear-cut understanding is concerned, you will only have it when you are done with passive voice as well. Because whenever there is a verb tree, okay, then did know, be verb will be used before the subject. For example, why were you confused? Why did you confuse? Why were you
Why were you
confused?
confused?
Why were you confused? Let me explain why. Smith, I'll give a shortcut option. You were confused. You were, I am confused. I am confused. You are confused. Past tense. You were confused. Why were you confused? Easy.
Yes, sir.
And confused is an adjective here.
Yeah, I got it. And
Arish,
if
I
you
don't see you on camera. Aisha, Ravi, Musharraf, I don't see you guys on camera. Not very happy about it. Okay, because you
Sir, I'm
see,
outside, sir.
I can understand that, but still keep the camera on. At least I want to see your
Sir,
facial
there is no
expressions.
electricity, sir. That's
Uh-huh,
why.
Musharraf.
How do you see, sir? Because my side is evening time and it's a black background.
Make sure that you're visible. Do something
Sir, there
about
is
it.
no electricity, sir.
So the whole house is dark, you mean? The people
Yes,
will
sir.
bump into each other? People will bump into each other? There is
Yes,
no lamp, nothing? No emergency light?
was that's it, sir.
Oh my goodness. Musharraf,
Where
I
are
didn't
you?
know Shekhpura was this way. Okay. Repeating what I said earlier, I am confused. I am bored. I am annoyed. In all these sentences, bored, annoyed, and confused are
Adjective.
adjectives.
And
Yeah.
Okay, and you have be verb. So past tense, I was bored, I was confused, I was annoyed. Question, why were you annoyed? Why were you confused? It's easy for the time being, okay? All right, guys, let's
Input
continue.
bolla.
Let's continue.
Sure,
Aisha
Ali.
Bita. All right, continue. Next question, please. Next question.
Where were they from?
A new person who has not spoken. Yes, Musharraf. What's your question, Musharraf?
No, sir. I didn't say anything.
Who else? Imrana, Aisha, Arish, Vikas. You haven't asked Ruxar. Go on. Ask your question.
what? Can I ask, sir?
Of course, I've called your name.
Uh, what did worker do when they saw the letter of the boy?
Letter of the boy, Nivita. The letter from the boy. Okay.
The letter from the boy. Yes.
Yeah. What did the workers do when they saw the letter from the boy? Yes. Answer, people.
They
What did
felt
they do?
sorry for the boy.
They felt sorry for the boy. One,
And
and
they clubbed
They
together
clubbed together
And they
clubbed
clubbed
together
together
bought
and
panda
bought
for
and,
Nate.
pandas. And
and
bought
bought the
pandas
panda.
for the boy.
For
and
Nate.
brought the panda for him,
Yes,
for the net.
exact. For Nate. For Nate. For Nate.
net.
Very good. Very good. Next person, please. Next question. Ruxar, Imrana, Ravi, Musharraf, Aisha. Anybody? And then we will go in the circle. The same people again. These are the days when I don't want to hear that you have not done your homework, you know. These are the days, one of days you don't do your homework, not a big deal. But a day when I have asked you to write multiple questions, and I was really excited, like I'm going to see a lot of mistakes from you guys. I'm going to make a lot of corrections, and I'm going to teach you a lot of things during those, corrections. And if you guys are gonna tell me, oh, I didn't write any questions, then I will simply postpone this practice and ask you guys to write your questions. And Sumit, beta, you remove the questions from the group. Okay?
Okay.
Yeah.
Sir, I had a doubt. I'm
Mm.
removing, but let me remove
You
first.
too, Rukaya, you too remove them. Remove them. Remove them from the group. Everybody send me your questions.
Thank you
20,
personally.
25 questions. Yes, personally. Okay. 20, 25 questions at least. Yes, which question you have doubt about, Sumit? I'll help you.
Sir, when I say what color of shirt, then according to color, I have to take the verb, or according to shirt, I have to take the verb. Like what color of shirt where the boy is wearing, or the boy is wearing, was the boy wearing? Which is
Okay. Okay. Let me tell you. The verb will be according to the boys. The boys were wearing.
oh
Yeah.
yes,
Understand?
yes
Yeah.
sir, yes sir.
Okay. Anybody else has any doubtful question? The question that you are not very sure about, you can share them with me. Otherwise, I am making it compulsory for you to write questions. It's very necessary. Okay. I'm glad Arvind has written questions, Zafri has written questions, Saurabh has written questions, um, Sumit has written questions, and Rukaya has written
So it is
questions.
right. How old were they when they start doing triathlons?
Aha, very good. How old were they when they started, Zafri? How old were they
Started.
when they started doing triathlons? Absolutely correct. How old were they
Sir,
when they started
just
doing
for
triathlons?
confirmation
Yes,
again,
sir.
I want to ask, how old were they when they started? In this started is V3.
No, two, V2. They started. They subject plus V2. After subject, you can
Because
never use V3 directly. Okay, Sumit? There are certain fixed rules of verbs. Which verbs can
be-
come where? Okay, if you see verb after the subject, they can be V1, they can be
yeah.
V2, they can be V5. No other
Sir,
form.
I
V3 and
I
V4
don't
cannot come
have
directly after the subject.
Sir,
Yes,
but
Rukhsar.
you said V3 when you were explaining.
Yes, I did. You have to watch the recording, today's recording, to understand which place I said V3. Okay. Yes, Rukhsar. Hmm.
Sir, I don't have a book, so I can't question and I can't read. So I
Okay.
want to book, sir.
Just a second. Just a second. So, guys, the page is not in the group.
Yes, sir, in the group.
Come on, the page is in the group.
I
Come on,
think I
Rukhsar.
didn't see.
The page is in the group. I know this that some students don't have the page. It can never be that excuse, because I would hate myself if I do not put the page in the group, guys. Because I know some people don't have the book yet. So I
You check
always make
the
sure I share the page. This doesn't hold water, Rukhsar. Your excuse, please. Okay, everybody else. Again, I really want to see as many questions as you guys can think of. Okay, write whatever questions that come to your mind and send them to me personally, because your mistakes will not only help you, will help the rest of the class as well. This is active, homework where you have to actually go and think of questions. What questions come to your mind about both these characters, Nate and the two brothers, Brownlee brothers? Now, we are moving on from it because I want to see participation from each and everyone. Okay, I know. Sunita Beta, I want you to write a
I
lot
have
of
done my
questions too.
homework except only for questions.
This is I think
Yeah.
I made it very clear. The most important
Yes.
homework for today was
Yes, sir.
writing
Okay,
the
sir. Sorry.
questions.
And today I'll make a lot of questions
Yeah,
and
please
I'll
do.
send you.
Yes, good, Beta, good. I'll
Sir,
check them on Monday. Okay, everybody?
Okay, sir.
sir,
Yeah. Yes, Beta.
uh, in first story, I have got one question. Who did push whom? Is this sentence right or
No,
wrong?
Beta. No, Beta. Who pushed
And
whom?
sir, when we use WH word like who, then we use did.
No, let me explain. Let me explain. That's not the explanation. What you're saying doesn't, I never said that. You never heard that. You heard that there is a subject, right? There is a subject. So first of all, let's understand what the subject is. Who came to your party? Who phoned you? Who threatened you? Who punished you? Who beat you? Who loves you? Who scolded you? Who shouted at you? Now, do you realize in all these questions, who is not only the question word, is the subject too?
is noisy from someone's end, sir.
It's Rukhsar's.
Rukhsar said.
Did you hear my questions, Sarav? Who
Yes, sir.
came to your party? Who called you? Who phoned you? Who punished you? Who shouted at you? Who gave you the toy? So in all these sentences, who is not only the question word, who is also the subject. Now listen to some more sentences, okay? Who did you see? Who did you see? Here the subject is you. The verb is see. Who is just the question word. Who do you like? You is the subject. Who does she love? Who does she love? She is the subject. Who is the object? So remember, who, does, did appear before the subject. Always. There is a tickety. There is a tickety, a trio. There is a trio. Do, yeah, either do or does or did, plus subject, plus V1. You always have these three words together. This is a trio. The subject is always there. The V1 is always there. When you have the subject and V1, before the subject, you have one of the three words, either do or does or did. And it is very common in English, present tense and past tense questions. Examples. Why did she break her marriage? Why did she break? Did she break? Did she break? Okay. Why did she divorce her husband? Did she divorce? B1. Break is B1, divorce is B1. Okay. Why did she shout at you? Did she shout? Shout is B1. Why did she shout at you? Easy. So you always have these three words together, Saurabh. You have do or does in the present, did in the past, and after that there is a subject. The subject can be I, you, we, he, she, it, they, any of the seven. And after that, there must be a V1. There must be a V1. Okay. Together, these three words make a good combination. We call it the trio. And they are very important in the simple tenses. Present simple, past simple. All right. All right, Sunita. Sunita, don't forget what the homework is for Monday. You have to read the story of Nate Williams and everybody. This is very, very important. Read the story of Nate Williams and the Brownlee brothers and write questions, as many questions as you can think of. Okay, whether the answer is available or not available doesn't matter, because Saurav asked a question today. How old were the brothers when they participated in the triathlon World Series? Of course, the answer is not given there. Arvind asked this question slightly differently. He said, when was the World Triathlon Series held? We know it was held 2 years ago. That's all we know, okay? We do not know the year. The text doesn't say that, right?
Sir,
The text doesn't say that. Yes, Manisha.
here is it. The homework in which page number?
Uh, Actually, you missed some classes, I think. So I'll tell you. First of all, let me take it to the group. And in the group, you see this page here. This page. Brotherly Love and Sorry Nate, Not Until Payday. You have to read both these stories. You have to do exercise 8, 9, 10. And then we are doing 11. We are writing a lot of questions with these words. And not necessarily these words, guys. Okay? You can use your own question word. Doesn't matter. Your yes-no question as well. Your yes-no questions are also welcome. Okay? So do not put yourselves under any limit, like you have to, restrictions like you have to use any of these 6 question words only. No, whatever comes to your mind. No problems. Understood, Manisha? Okay. And on Monday, I'll hope that everybody is ready with their questions. And your mistakes are welcome too, because your mistakes will help you learn something new. I will explain
And sir,
why your
what about
sentences are wrong.
the
Yes, Sumit.
homework of Monday?
Homework for Monday, beta. Homework for Monday, not homework of Monday, okay? Homework for Monday. Now, whatever extra homework was there will be there as well, of course, okay? But this is a compulsory thing. Everything else can be switched or put off for later, postponed for another day, no problems. But on Monday, I will definitely check the questions. Understand why I'm, so excited about this exercise or this homework. Because you guys are going to put words together completely on your own, right? So of
Yes,
course,
sir. There were
there
two
will
or
be
three
mistakes.
confusion I faced today, and
Yes.
in which two I have cleared till now. The
Very
one
good.
which you explained, sir, about that, sir, did and was, we cannot use both. That I got cleared.
Don't worry. Monday will be a good day for all of you. You guys will learn plenty. Okay. Now let's move on to, you guys have to, like, some people have not done their homework. I want everybody to participate. 3, 4 people have not done their homework for whatever reasons. Maybe Manisha was not attending the classes and I did not share the recording from yesterday. Yeah. So I'm giving them one more day. But I want to see questions from everybody. You put your questions, not in the group. Send them to me personally, okay? Now, let's move on to the next part. Was there homework in the practice book as well?
Yes, sir.
Let's see. The first page. Good news, bad news. What an interesting story, wasn't it? A man decided to travel with a fridge around Ireland with a fridge. Look at this. Around Ireland with a fridge. Okay. Read about Tony Hawk's Irish adventure. Tony Hawk's Irish adventure. Everybody knows an adventure is an act which is slightly risky but fun, right? For example, jumping off a running train, I don't know, is a little bit of an adventure or perhaps the last adventure of your life. I don't know. Okay, so Tony Hawk's Irish adventure, read about it. Complete the text with the regular or irregular past simple form of the verbs in the boxes. Guys, we have verbs in the boxes, so we have to complete them. Okay, complete the text. Let's read first of all. There are many ways to travel around Ireland. Yes, there are many ways to travel around Ireland. Here, around Ireland, in American English, people would say around Ireland. There are many ways to travel around Ireland, and I would like to use a picture to help you understand the meaning. Where is my what? I don't see the board. Where is the board? Where is the board? Second camera, video file, PowerPoint as background, document, whiteboard. Opening a whiteboard will stop the screen share. Do you want to continue? Yes. Can everybody see my screen? White screen,
Yes,
whiteboard?
Yes, sir.
Okay, beta. So this is Ireland. Okay. I'm not claiming that this is the right. Stop dribbling, people. Stop dribbling. Stop dribbling. Don't act silly. Some people, the moment they get control, any freedom, they start exercising that freedom. Okay, remove the lines, guys. What are you doing? Don't act childish, please. Stop dribbling. Okay. Suppose this is Ireland. So now around Ireland means two things. One is this around Ireland. Okay, context will tell you. This is also around Ireland. Okay. And this is also around Ireland. All right. Somebody is
yes, sir.
traveling around Ireland means they are traveling inside Ireland. Okay, not necessarily around Ireland like this. Got it? So English is a funny language because both the things are expressed with the same word. So it's confusing, no doubt. It's not your problem if you're confused. So which one it meant here? There are many ways to travel around Ireland, inside or outside?
Inside.
Inside, of course. There are many ways to travel around Ireland by car, coach, train, or bike. One man chose to hitchhike. One man chose to hitchhike. One man decided not to travel anyway like this. He decided to hitchhike. What is hitchhiking? Hitchhiking
Ask for
is,
lift.
yeah, exactly. Asking for lift. You ask for lift. You do not spend money. Okay. You hitchhike. You can be dangerous because if you get in touch with the wrong people, okay, now you are at their mercy. Now if you are a young boy, you are a young girl, and you are hitchhiking, and imagine there are some truck drivers with some, bad intentions and some weapons and some strong bodies. Okay. Now you
Tension.
can
Getting
experience
there
you
only.
can experience hell. Okay, there will be a movie made about your story, about your experience. Okay, so one man chose to hitchhike, but it is exciting. It is exciting if you're doing it in a safe country where people do not have any bias against your identity. You see, if you're a brown person and you are hitchhiking in a place where brown people are, looked down upon, okay, then it can be dangerous. Yes, if you are in a racist part of, world, or if you are a white woman and you are in India, then you are in real trouble, right? White or black doesn't matter. If you're a woman and you're hitchhiking in India, then there could be a lot of serious problems. I'm sorry, but it is the reality of India. Not everybody is very nice. I mean, majority of us are nice. But some people are, they don't care. They are so selfish, and some of them are monsters. Whatever happened in Kolkata, I don't want to talk about political stuff here, but that's really awful. Okay, move on. So one man chose to hitchhike around Ireland, but he had a very unusual traveling companion. Normally, when you travel, you have a companion, you have somebody with you, right? But he had a very unusual traveling companion, a fridge. Got it? He had a very unusual traveling companion, a fridge. Take a look at this one. Yeah, here he is standing with his fridge. Okay. On a Saturday night in the middle of winter On a Saturday night in the middle of winter, Tony Hawks, a British comedian, British comedian, I have high respect for them because I have listened to a lot of programs, comedy programs on the BBC. And guys, they are really, really creative. They're clever people. They're really clever. They're not like Indian comedians who just, make stupid jokes like on Kapil Sharma's show. I'm sorry, when I say Kapil Sharma's show is a stupid show, then a lot of people will say, what are you saying, sir? It's so popular. Yes, these comedians are massy comedians. They just do stupid things, to make you laugh. But then there are some comedians, they're clever. They play with words. They pun, and so many other clever ideas they will express, and they will make you chuckle. They will make you smile. They are not as popular as Kapil Sharma. They will never be as popular as Kapil Sharma because, massy things are always, more popular. Okay. Those who appeal to masses, they have a special sense of humor. Very, I will say, subtle and educated sense of humor. There's so many such people on YouTube as well. They do stand-up comedy. Not many people know them, but they are far, far more talented than this Kapil Sharma. What does Kapil Sharma do? Stand there and, objectify girls. He will put a girl in a short skirt and he will try and stand close to her, and that's all he does in the name of comedy. His show is absolute nonsense. I watched his show mainly for that man, Gulati, the man, he's Dr. Gulati who left the show. He was talented, and I watched his show for him basically. I'm not
Sunil
even big
Grover, sir.
Sunil Grover. Yeah, I liked him very much. He was fantastic. He had some real talent, Every character he did, he made those characters kind of, immortal on the show. Okay. One man chose to hitchhike. Where were we? On a Saturday night in the middle of winter, Tony Hawks, a British comedian, was having dinner with some old friends. Was having dinner with some old friends. Okay. A British comedian, Tony Hawks, on a Saturday night in the middle of winter. Tony Hawks was having dinner with some old friends. Past continuous, can you see? Was having duration. Feel करिए, हिंदी में भी feel करिए, okay? Whatever language you speak, your mother tongue, feel the sentence. On a Saturday night in the middle of winter, Tony Hawks, a British comedian, was having dinner with some old friends. They drank too much red wine. They drank too much red wine. And the conversation became wilder and wilder. The conversation became wilder and wilder. Here, wild means what? I mean, that's what we want you guys to develop. Sense for words, okay? Not the Hindi, jungly and jungly, aisa nahi hota, okay? So let's see. The conversation became wilder and wilder. When we were not civilized, we were wild, okay, before civilization. And we didn't, you know, talk in so much of control, with so much of modesty. So the conversation became wilder and wilder. They started saying crazy things, right? At the end of the night, now depends if your character is different, you know, you can talk sexually wild topics or different kind of wild topics, you know, depends, okay? Depends on the people who are having the conversation. But not very civilized, not very normal conversation. The conversation became wilder and wilder. At the end of the night,
He made a crazy bet.
he made a crazy bet with his friend Kevin. At the end of the night, he made a crazy bet with his friend Kevin. Everybody knows all these words?
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
He made a bet. So beta, learn a phrase. He made a bet. He made a crazy bet with his friend Kevin. Okay. At the end of the night, he
Decided to
decided to hitchhike. He decided to hitchhike around Ireland. In one, okay, see, around Ireland and round Ireland. Can you see? Yeah. Okay. He decided to hitchhike around Ireland in 1 month with a fridge. In 1 month, he decided that I will hitchhike around Ireland in 1 month. And that too with a fridge. With a fridge. The bet was only for £100. The bet was only for £100. It was not for a lot of money. It was only for £100. The bet was only for £100. Easy sentence. The bet was only for £100. The next day, Kevin
rang Tony.
rang Tony. Ring is a very common British English word for phone, okay? Kevin rang Tony, means Kevin phoned Tony, okay? Yeah. And there is another expression, Kevin gave a ring to Tony. Kevin gave a ring to Tony, means called him, okay? Yeah. The next day, Kevin rang Tony and said he could forget the bet. He said, okay, imagine you are Kevin, okay? You are Kevin, and you're calling your friend Tony to say that. What would you say? Hello, Tony. Hello, Tony. Remember, we made that bet? Listen, you don't need to do that. You can forget the bet. You can forget the bet. You can forget the bet. It's not a big deal. No problems. I know you were drunk. We were drunk. Forget it. Okay. He rang Tony and said he could forget the bet. यहाँ क्या लिखा है बच्चों? उसने क्या बोला होगा उससे? उसने क्या बोला होगा? You can forget the bet. You can forget the bet. यहाँ लिखा है Kevin rang Tony and said he could forget the bet. He who?
His friend, Tony's friend.
He who? बताओ.
Sir,
He
his
who?
friend. Tony's
अरे नाम
friend.
तो नाम तो लो. No, he means Tony.
ऐसे भी आप लोग का मतलब जैसे आना जाना
He
करता
means
है ना,
Tony. He
उसके में
means
भी नहीं
Tony.
रहता.
After you are in a noisy place today. Okay, he means Tony. All right. Kevin rang Tony and said he could forget the bet. Now you are Kevin. Sumit, you are Kevin, okay?
Yes, sir,
You
I
call your
got.
friend and say, hey, Tony, you can forget the bet. Right? So he is who?
Tony.
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 Kevin rang Tony and said he could forget the bet. However, Tony loved the silliness of the idea. What did he love? He loved the silliness of the idea.
Silliness of the idea.
Okay, silly. When you silly is an adjective, everybody knows the word silly. How silly? You are so silly. Or this answer is so silly. Or she is so silly. Silly means not smart, not very clever, not with a lot of common sense, right? Silly. That was so silly. All right. So silly is an adjective, and we make a noun, silliness. All right. Tony loved the silliness of the idea. Now, how many of you are comfortable translating this into Hindi? Tony loved the silliness of the idea. Nobody. You're all silent.
पागलपन वाले आइडिया को
इस
पसंद
idea
करते हैं.
Ah, very good. Okay, Tony loved the पागलपन और बेवकूफी. जो idea में बेवकूफी था, ये भैया fridge लेके घूमो. He loved the silliness of the idea. The idea was silly, no? The idea was
Yes,
silly. To travel with the fridge. Can you imagine that? Travel with a fridge. Travel around Ireland, not just one or two places. Travel around Ireland with a fridge. Okay. Tony loved the silliness of the idea. And
He agreed to
He
that.
agreed to do it.
and he agreed to do it. He decided to do it or he agreed to do it. All right, either makes
And
sense,
he
doesn't
agreed
matter.
to
You know,
it.
you could go with either. Depends. If there is another place where maybe agreed will be needed, then I will say, okay, I'm thinking of he decided to do it. He agreed to do it. All right, no problems. Either will go. The next month, the
So,
अच्छा बेटा यहाँ क्या लिखा है? The next month. क्या लिखा है?
the
then
next month.
The next month कब से रेफर करें? कहाँ से गिनेंगे कि next month? जब बातचीत हुई थी उसी की बात ना? उसी के अगले महीने. तो वहाँ the next month लिखा है. बाद में कभी कंफ्यूज हो जाना और बोलना कि सर नेक्स्ट और the next में क्या फर्क है? ऑब्जर्व कर ले मेरे बच्चे, ऑब्जर्व कर ले. The next month. अभी अगर मैं तुम्हें पैसे लिए, सुमित मैंने तुमसे पैसे ले रखे हैं, मैंने कहा भाई अगले महीने दे दूंगा. I will pay you.
The next.
नहीं भाई. I will pay you next month. I'll pay you next month.
Sir, repeat it. The
सारे लोग कान खोलिए और अपनी नजरें, अब यही दिक्कत है, मैंने हमेशा से कहा है.
sir, not the explanation. I have understood the explanation.
हाँ.
When you say you, okay, I got it. If you had to say the next month, then from a reference you have to.
Yes, Sumit. Yes, good point. Very well done. There must be a reference point, okay? Then you say the next, the last, understand? There is a
Yes.
reference point. And when the reference point is now, then you do not need you simply say next, last. What month is it now? What month is it now?
August. It is August.
What month was last month? What month was it last month?
It was July.
Last कहाँ से? अभी से, present से. तो present से reference लोगे? No need to use the. No need to use the. Okay. What month will it be? Next month?
It will be September.
September is the next month. अब जब फिर से बोलेंगे तो यहाँ हो गया कि next of August. ठीक है? तो the लगाना तब होता है जब हम reference में एक sequence ले लेते हैं और सीक्वेंस में एक लास्ट है, एक रेफरेंस पॉइंट है, उसके आगे द नेक्स्ट, उसके पहले द लास्ट रेफरेंस पॉइंट होगी. सो सुमित, व्हेन विल यू पे मी माय फी? झूठ मूठ में तुम पे कर चुके हो, आई नो, लेकिन फॉर जस्ट प्ले अलोंग बोलो सर अगले महीने. सर इस महीने बड़ी मुश्किल है.
Sir, next month I would pay for sure.
I will pay for sure. Huh? Next month I will pay you. Yeah. This month I have some money problems, sir. Next month, sir. Okay. तो next month कोई दर लगाने की जरूरत नहीं. Okay. सर हम तो पिछले महीने दे दिए थे, ऐसे बोलो. सुने सर हम तो पिछले महीने दे दिए.
Sir, I had paid.
I have already. Sir, I paid, sir.
I paid already
Last. I paid last month. Okay. No need to use the, guys. No need to use the.
And yes, sir, I remember that I told you that I will pay the fee I will pay the fee the next month where after joining the class.
हाँ वो बोल सकते, okay?
The next after joining.
The next month after joining the class. That's a different thing. आपने एक reference point बनाया. But अगर present से reference लेना है, last or next, no need to use the. Okay. The next month, I hope everybody knows when. Okay. They had this conversation. They had this crazy bet. The next month, अगले महीने, Tony, number 7. Easy. Tony bought a small
Bought
fridge.
a small
He
fridge.
bought a small fridge. He was ready for his Irish adventure. He was ready for his Irish adventure. Now the trip. So this was how this situation started. This whole story started, right? And now about the trip. Tony, number 8, set off from Cavan in Ireland. Okay. Set off. Started. Can we say
Set
started?
off.
Can we say started?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So that is the meaning of set off. Tony set off from Cavan in Ireland. Tony started from Cavan in Ireland. So where did he set off? In Cavan, from Cavan,
in
from
Cavan.
Cavan, from Cavan. Okay. So Tony set off from Cavan in Ireland. It wasn't long before a local radio DJ became interested in
Became
Tony's
interested.
unusual challenge. Acha, very interesting expression in English. It wasn't long before a local radio DJ became interested in Tony's unusual challenge. It wasn't long means very soon. What does it mean? Very soon. Now replace it wasn't long before. Very soon, a local radio DJ became interested in Tony's unusual challenge. In English, we often write the other way around. Okay, instead of writing very soon, what is the expression? It wasn't long before. It wasn't long before a local radio DJ became interested in Tony's unusual challenge. I want you guys to write sentences with it wasn't long before. Okay, it's a nice expression. I'll be right back, guys, okay? Going to empty my bladders.
Why are you all quiet?
Because you are silent, Rafi.
Wasn't long. Again, okay. Fine. You guys are giving me one-liners, and I'm not interested in one-liners here because this sentence requires the context. Okay, guys, some sentences are fine with just that one sentence, but sometimes you have to create a context. Let me explain.
Sir, check mine.
Yes, Sumit. Where is it?
I have sent in group. I will say it.
Okay,
The
okay, no
students
problem.
wanted a
Okay, very good. The students wanted an English class, okay, to prepare for the interview. And it wasn't long before they found STC. Very soon they found STC. Okay, very good. So many people have turned their cameras off today. And they know it very well that I don't like it, but they don't care about how I feel. No, they don't care about how I feel while I'm teaching them. They know it's very important for me to keep looking at their facial expressions while I'm explaining things, especially at the day when I'm teaching a text or an audio file, you know, Rukhaya, Aisha, Rukhsar. You guys really don't care, do you?
No, sir, I will turn on in 2 minutes.
Hmm. So here is an example with the context. The whole college knew her reputation of as a gold digger. But I was so unaware and I didn't believe anybody. So I decided to go ahead with my decision and get married. But it wasn't long before I realized that I had made the biggest mistake of my life. Yeah. Easy. The whole college, the whole university knew her reputation. She had a reputation for being a gold digger, but I didn't know that somehow. And I didn't listen to anybody. And I decided to go ahead with my decision and get married. But it wasn't long before I realized I'd made the biggest mistake of my life, marrying a gold digger. So that is how you use it wasn't long. Okay. It means soon I realized. After marriage, I realized. Because after that, she had no, need to hide her personality. Yeah. Okay. Soon, instead of writing soon, you can write it wasn't long. Okay. It wasn't long before a local radio DJ became interested in Tony's unusual challenge. Very good. It was a very unusual challenge, right? And he became interested, a radio DJ, local radio DJ. He asked Tony to call
Yes,
the
Ask
radio
Tony.
call the
show
radio
every
show.
Ask
morning.
Tony.
He asked Tony to call the radio show every morning
Every
and
morning.
share his travel stories
Spanish
with the
with
listeners.
listeners.
And share his travel stories with the listeners.
Listeners.
Yeah. He asked Tony to call the radio show. He asked Tony to call the radio show. Now, this is a good English expression. He asked Tony to call the radio show. हिंदी आस्क मतलब पूछना कभी अप्लाई नहीं कर पाएंगे यहाँ पे कभी नहीं अप्लाई कर पाएंगे कोई फायदा नहीं हुआ आस्क मतलब पूछना सीखने का यहाँ पे वो उल्टे फंसाएगा कोशिश करो बच्चों He asked Tony to call the radio show every morning.
टोनी से उन्होंने कहा
टोनी
कि
से
हर सुबह कॉल कर देना.
Yes, exactly. Okay, now imagine one thing. Imagine this radio DJ, local radio DJ. Imagine he called him and he said, "Hey Tony, listen, you call the radio show every morning, okay? Okay, Tony, you call the radio show every morning, okay? Okay, Tony? All right, all right." He asked Tony to
sir,
call
I
the
think
radio show every morning. Yes,
the
Zafri?
radio
To
company
suggest
said to him to join the radio show every morning.
Yes, exactly. You see what happens, Afri? There are lots of local radio DJs. They run their own programs, okay, at a certain
Certain
bandwidth,
time.
at a certain bandwidth, okay. They have their own channels as well. Some of them work for other channels, radio channels, and some of them have their own channels as well. They have a certain bandwidth. At that bandwidth, they will, telecast, their programs. Okay. Anyways, that's not the main purpose to understand how the the DJs work. Okay. The matter is the local radio DJ who got interested, who became interested, he said to him, "Hi, Saab, call the radio show every morning. Okay, call my show every morning." Yes, he he asked Tony to call the radio show every morning. Okay, so एक student ने कहा, he's leaving home early at 6 o'clock. His normal school time or class time is 8 o'clock. Okay, he's leaving home at 6. Mother says, "Why? Why are you going?" "Sir asked me to come early. Sir asked me to come early." Hindi?
सर पहले आने बोले.
हाँ, exactly. So बताओ, ask means पूछना, काम आया? नहीं आया, इसलिए रटना नहीं है, समझना है. Sir asked me to come early. Okay, fine. At school, teachers asked you to get a haircut when your hair is too long. Did you have a problem with that? Personally, I feel, it's not really necessary. It's not really necessary. Yeah, it's not really necessary. You can still handle children, if you are capable, if you are qualified enough. You don't have to force them to be like a, machine with no difference from other people. Ask them to wear uniforms, ask them to have the same haircut. Why do you do it? To show them that you're all the same, you're all the equal, but they are not the equal. Why are you forcing them to believe something wrong? They're not equal. Anyways, it's a debatable topic. Whether there should be a uniform at school, whether students should be allowed to have the haircut they want, or there should be a certain prescribed haircut, for all the students. Okay, these are topics we can debate, right? Discuss. There are arguments for and against both, isn't it? Nobody can argue that these are straightforward topics. No, there will always be disagreements. Some people will always say, "Oh, the children should have the freedom to have their haircut," and some will say, "No, while they're at school, they should always follow rules and discipline." Stuff like that. So yeah, these are debatable topics, and I'm not interested in having any debates at the moment. Okay, because for me, debating a topic means really taking out a lot of energy. Involving myself with a lot of energy, and I don't think, no, not now, not for next 1 month at least. After that, maybe.
No, you have not more energy.
No, Zafri, I don't have much energy left after being sick, See, I'm drinking 2 glasses of, coconut water a day. One in the morning, 1 glass in the morning, 1 glass in the evening. And still not feeling really up to my usual strength. Okay. See.
You want to drink, sir, rice juice.
Rice juice? Tadi?
Yeah. No, sir.
What are you?
Mar bhat.
Mar. Yeah, I drink mar. But not every day. I do drink mar. Yeah. Okay. Where was I? He asked Tony to call the radio show every morning and share his travel stories with the listeners. It is called win-win. It is called a win-win. Win-win is a situation where both the parties benefit. Okay, so that's why it is called a win-win. Now, what happens? Tony calls, so he gets benefited as well. He becomes popular, and that will help him find hitchhiking. It will help him with hitchhiking. If you are popular, everybody knows your story. Then wherever you go, people will say, "Oh, yeah, please come on my bike. Oh, come on in my car, right? Get on my truck." But when you're not popular, they will ask you 1,000 questions before they allow you to get on their vehicle. One, it is good for Tony. And two, if Tony is sharing his stories with the listeners and the radio DJ is also benefiting because he's getting some content, right? So it is called a win-win. Okay, and share his travel stories with the listeners. The Irish people loved hearing about his travels.
Love. Hearing.
Loved.
Loved.
The Irish people loved
Loved
hearing
hearing
about his
about his
travels
travel.
and wanted to help him win his bet. And how could they help? What was the challenge? He had to do it within a month.
Wanted to help him with
Yeah.
his bet.
What was the bet? He had to do it within a month. So if he could get hitchhiked easily, it means he was going to win. So the people wanted to help him win his bet. Learn this. People wanted to help Mr. Tony win his bet. They wanted him to win his bet and they wanted to help him win his bet. They called him the fridge man. They called him the fridge man. They called him the fridge man. Not surprisingly, Tony and his fridge
Had some interesting adventures.
had some
Had some
interesting adventures. Tony and his fridge had some interesting adventures. Do you find this sentence a little humorous? Because fridge cannot feel anything, right? So this sentence becomes humorous. Not surprisingly. Well, it's natural. When you are hitchhiking, some adventures will happen, right? So not surprisingly, I travel on my bike for 22 hours. Not surprisingly, I was very tired at the end of it. Guys, not surprisingly, I was very tired at the end of it. Any problems, anyone? Not surprisingly, I hope you understand when to use not surprisingly. Means something that happened was, what happened was natural. Not surprising. Not surprisingly, the teacher said no. Okay, maybe you made a request, very, very funny request. Okay. And not surprisingly, the teacher said no. Surprisingly, the teacher said yes. Your request was very funny. And still, surprisingly, the teacher said yes. Okay, so Sumit, can you see surprisingly, unsurprisingly? Because why am I highlighting it? Because of yesterday, fortunately, unfortunately, okay? Surprisingly, unsurprisingly, not surprisingly, okay? Tony and his fridge had some interesting adventures. They had tea with the king of Tory Island. They had tea with the king of Tory Island. They refers to
Tony and his fridge.
Tony and his fridge had tea with the king of Tory Island, guys. Tony and his fridge had tea. They had tea with the king of Tory Island, a tiny Irish-speaking island. Now, this Tory Island is a, see, after comma, you give extra information. Always remember that, okay? After comma, you write some extra information. What is Tory Island? It is a tiny Irish-speaking island. It means the people who are on this island speak Irish. A tiny Irish-speaking island off the coast of Donegal.
Yes.
Off the coast of Donegal. So where is this island? Off the coast
Of the
of
coast
Donegal.
of Donegal.
I would like to again use a picture to show you what I meant or what this sentence means. Okay. This is water, guys. This is water, okay? Sea. And this area is known as Donegal. This is known as Donegal. Now, this is the coast of Donegal, guys. This is the coast of Donegal. Coast, C-O-A-S-T, the area that touches the land and the sea.
The
that
land.
area, the land and the sea touch there. Okay. So Donegal, coast of off the coast of Donegal. So the Kori Island is somewhere here. Understand? Kori Island is somewhere here like this. Kori Island and an Irish speaking island off the coast of Donegal. Yes. I hope you understood. Off the coast of Donegal. Tony, number 13.
Wanted to win the
Wanted to
princess
win the
hand.
prince's hand in marriage. Tony wanted to win the prince's hand. Okay, look at this spelling here, the prince's hand. Read, guys.
Tony wanted to win the princess hand in
Prince's hand,
marriage
yes.
with a bunch of flowers.
Leave early. Tony wanted to win the prince's hand in marriage. He wanted to win the prince's hand in marriage. He didn't want the princess in marriage. He wanted only her hand. Okay, guys? Yeah. He wanted to win the prince's hand in marriage. Nice expression, right? With a bunch of flowers. He wanted to win her hand in marriage with a bunch of... क्या plan था
Bunch
उसका
of
भाई?
flowers.
What was his plan? To take a bunch of
To
flowers,
get
you
from the
know, फूल
princess
देके
hand.
देके बगीचा ले लेना, you know? Yeah, that was he planned. Okay? I don't know. Maybe मेरे students का sense of humor off है. वो कोई हंसा नहीं मेरे बात पे. पता नहीं. Okay,
बगीचे देकर फूल नहीं मिलते सर आजकल.
हाँ, but यहाँ तो हमने कहा था कि फूल देके बगीचा लेना चाह रहा था, right? Because he wanted to win the prince's hand in marriage with a bunch of flowers. But unfortunately, the princess was away. But unfortunately, the princess was away. Away means she was not in the town. She was not on the island. She was not on the island. She was not on the island. She was in another place. She was away. He also
went surfing with Bingo.
He also went surfing with Bingo. Okay. One of Ireland's champion surfers. Yes.
Here, sir, here he also.
I'll tell you.
Tony or princess?
No. Here also shows of all the adventures. One adventure here, another adventure here. Okay. I went to the zoo. I also went to see the CMR, house. I also, now you understand 1, 2, 3 things. Understand, Rafi?
Yeah.
He decided to, he had tea with the king of Tory Island. One adventure, one exciting thing he did. Second exciting thing he did was he went surfing with Bingo. Now you understand why also? Also not because somebody else also did it. यही also word का meaning समझने के लिए you have to understand the intonation. He also went surfing with Bingo. वो Bingo के साथ surfing भी करने गया. और ये Bingo कौन है? One of Ireland's champion surfers. Now tell me, if you have India's champion surfer, okay, you are one of the India's champion surfers, why will you surf with any XYZ? Tom, Dick, and Harry? You won't do that.
I met Virat Kohli and I met Shah Rukh Khan and I also met Mahendra Singh Dhoni.
That's okay. That's very good. That's very good. Now listen to this one, okay? What did you do in India? I climbed a mountain. I also met some village women. I also went to the cinema there. Their cinema halls are very different. I also worked in the fields with some farmers. Now you understand also? One person did it all, okay? But he did so many different things. So I did this. I also did that. I also did that. Now you understand, Zafri?
Yes, sir.
अगर आपने ही को स्ट्रेस कर दिया भाई, अगर आपने ही को स्ट्रेस कर दिया तो मीनिंग बदल जाएगी. ही को स्ट्रेस नहीं करना है. He also नहीं. He also went surfing with Bingo.
Bingo.
Who is Bingo? One of Ireland's champion surfers. Champion surfers. Bingo Bingo thought. Bingo thought. Number
Fridge
15, guys.
was a better set for that.
Bingo's thought or Bingo said?
Bingo said.
Bingo said
Do we have
the
say?
fridge
Yeah,
was
Bingo
a
said.
better surfer.
Bingo said the fridge was a better server than Tony. This is what I call humor in English. I love it. Okay. Bingo said that the fridge was a better server than Tony. Tony loved the warmth and generosity of the Irish people. What did he love? He loved the warmth and generosity of the Irish people. Let me explain. Warm is the adjective, warmth is the quality. Generous is the adjective. Everybody knows the word generous. Somebody who is
Yeah.
generous has a big heart. Okay. Yes, generous people have big heart. They are ready to help other
You,
people. Generous.
you have
Generous
generous.
people. No. Please understand. You
You
are
are
generous. You are generous.
yeah.
I am generous. She is generous. Generous is an adjective. And generous people have qualities. Which qualities? Generosity. Okay.
Generous.
Yeah. The generosity of the Irish people. It means Irish people were generous. Generous. They were
Generous.
generous. Okay. So first of all, understand the adjective generous. Do you consider your neighbors generous? Do you think your neighbors are generous? Do they have a big heart?
Yeah.
Okay, fine. So do you take advantage of your neighbor's generosity? Understand, people? I will not allow you to take advantage of my generosity. I am a generous person, but I will not allow you to take advantage of my generosity. Can you repeat the word generosity?
Generosity.
Yes, generosity, everybody. Okay. Tony loved the warmth and generosity of the Irish people. He found it amazing that a small fridge could bring so many people together. He found it amazing. He thought, wow, just because of a small fridge, so many people came together. He found it amazing that a small fridge could bring so many people together. And he won the bet. And he
Won the bet.
won the bet.
And he won the bet.
So that's the story of this a British, comedian.
The fridge man.
Yes, the fridge man, Tony Hawk's. Okay, there are some lovely shows on BBC for comedy lovers. But again, to appreciate those comedy programs, your English level has to be at C2 level. Otherwise, you're not gonna appreciate what they say there. You know, they do it for English speaking people. They don't do it for learners of English. Yes, you can benefit from it if you have taken your level to C1 and then you're listening. You can definitely, benefit from listening to those comedy programs. Okay, so this is over, and the third piece of homework was to write a story with those news headlines, right? But I don't know if you guys have done it already. Some people have written. Sumit, you have written your story. I'm gonna read
Yes.
that. I'm gonna read that. And those who have not read, what can I say? They will write. Look, there is no point in stacking your homework, okay? Do your homework properly with all your heart and soul so that when you come to the class, you can benefit from being here. All right. Now, otherwise, passive listeners will not benefit so much. Okay. And Manisha, I hope you are really busy with something very important. Otherwise, I would suggest, to handle other things later. She is really busy. So where do I go? To
Wait, sir, I will resend it so you can.
mm, Sumit's story. Okay. Rat's tail found in sandwich. Sam bought this sandwich online from Swiggy. Their parents told their parents, whose parents?
Oh, his parents.
Okay. This is what we do, right? Because of these corrections, you get a reminder. Okay. Parents will not decide the word. It is Sam's parents. Sam is a guy. So his parents. If Sam was a
His
girl, then
parents.
if Sam was a
Her
girl, then
Her
parents.
parents.
her
Her
parents.
parents.
Her parents told he ate it half only. He ate it half only and found its taste too bad. So he threw the left in the he threw the left in the dustbin. Okay. He threw it. Yeah, it didn't sound very nice. I know what you wanted to say. The rest of it. Okay. He threw the rest of it in the dustbin.
The rest of
Not the left. He threw the rest of it in the dustbin. Unfortunately, at night, he fell. Unfortunately, at night, he fell very sick. बीमार हो गया बहुत भयानक. He fell very sick. When his parents saw this, they picked him and rushed to a nearby doctor. There, they found Sam's health very critical, very good. The doctor had known the cause. The doctor had known the cause. It was due to food poisoning. It was, not it is, okay?
I added the doctor said. So would that
Oh,
correct?
okay, sorry. It's due to food poisoning, the doctor said. Yes, it should be between inverted commas and it's fantastic, okay? So Sam was admitted there. His dad stayed and his mom returned home. Hmm. She first she first went to Sam's room, and it was when she looked into the dustbin she found this left sandwich. Oh God. When she looked more closely, she saw something like a rope, and this rope was nothing but a rat's tail. Very soon, she informed her husband and the doctor about this. When Sam became quite better, he told them that it was ordered from Swiggy, but from a good restaurant XYZ. The doctor advised them to take action by doing an FIR on the restaurant, okay, against the restaurant, okay, as well as on Swiggy, against Swiggy, okay, as it was really necessary. They agreed and did the same. At first, Swiggy and the restaurant both asked for forgiveness, saying it was a mistake and happened unintentionally. They offered some amount for keeping it a secret. Keeping it a secret. But it was not keeping the whole thing secret. We both say a secret, both are fine. Okay. But it was not enough for the parents. Okay. The parents demanded to do public work by those money. Okay. Public work, social things.
social
Okay. To do public work by those money kabhi nahi hota beta, because money is uncountable. Okay. So those is plural. Money is uncountable. Money is singular. Okay. So you
the
cannot say
money.
those. Yes. Accept the mistake. Accept the mistake publicly by putting it in a newspaper and social media. Take guarantee that it won't happen again. Only then we won't take serious action on you. Okay. Again, this part a little bit, because you are mixing up whether they said it directly, whether because you understand, we won't take action against you. You understand what I mean? It sounds like, directly they are saying these words, okay? And here you have started with the parents demanded to do public work. You understand, with the money.
Yes, sir, yes.
The Swiggy and the restaurant's manager both agreed to this. All right, fine. हालांकि ये सेंटेंस द स्विगीज एंड द रेस्टोरेंट्स मैनेजर द आप सीधे सीधे लिखते हैं स्विगी एंड द रेस्टोरेंट्स मैनेजर बोथ अग्री टू दिस द स्विगी नहीं ओके स्विगी इटसेल्फ कैपिटल एस ओके तो वेरी गुड स्टोरी सुमित ऐसे ही लोगों को अपना एक्टिव होकर के अपना होमवर्क करना चाहिए क्योंकि आपके पास अपॉर्चुनिटी होती है अपनी गलतियां वन ऑन वन सीखने की कि आपसे क्या गलती हुई ओके but unfortunately some people are not very sincere. They don't do it, and they will regret it later, maybe. So good job, Sumit. Well done. And keep practicing like this, everybody. I must tell you, Sumit, there are people who crave for a class where their personal mistakes can be corrected, because most classes have 200, 300 students where individually they do not get much time, with the teacher. So yeah, it is a fantastic quality we have in our class, but fantastic feature where each person's individual mistakes are taken care of.
Sir, yes, sir. Earlier, sir, when I was in your class, I was not able. Actually, I was able, but I didn't have the confidence, so I didn't do much practice that time. So I want
Most importantly, you're mature
I
now,
don't want.
Sumit. You were a kiddo back then. You were just a little childish, I think, That could be
After the class, sir, I realized that I would have done a lot of things to improve more, but I didn't. I
I
just
know.
listened and do the homework, but I thought it is a means it is like a school. We have to do.
I notice a change in your personality mainly, and that I think is going to contribute a lot in a positive way. Look, when you're a typical teenager, get distracted by things people say and do, and you forget about why you are actually in the room, in the group. That's the most important thing. And that's one advantage I have when I teach grown-up people, they understand why they are in the room. Some of them are still careless. That's another thing because they don't have the habit of working hard. That's a totally different story. Do you know what? Young teenagers, they do not mind their own business. They do take a lot of unnecessary interest in a lot of unnecessary things, you see, and that happens when you are young. So not a big deal. The most important thing is you're improving, you're getting better, and you're happy. That's what counts. Okay. So let's continue on Monday, everybody. And don't forget to do your best with your homework. I'll see you guys on Monday. Have a nice weekend, everyone.
Bye, sir. Good night, sir.
You too,
And
sir.
sir, please share
Bye,
the
sir.
recording.
I will share the recording, guys. I will. Bye-bye. Good night.
Good